Hey friend, it is Kate here. Thank you so much for joining me for a class today. Now I have got a very restful, gentle yoga class for you. It is meant to help us wind down from the end of our day. Maybe we've had a really stressful day and we know that we're going to have some trouble kind of calming our mind down. This is great for that. It's also one of my favorite things to do when I know I've had a long day and my back's kind of giving me some issues. So it's both a good one to help remove any kind of pain and tension from our lumbar area, as well as a wonderful, fabulous way to really relax our body and mind and get a fabulous deep sleep. So I hope you enjoy class. Roll out your mat and let's get started. Let's start in an easy seat, whatever feels best for you that you can kind of center, sit up tall and straight. Whatever pose that is for you is totally fine, but take a moment, press lightly into the tops of your thighs or your lap and lightly lift out of your waist. Notice if you start to splay the ribs a little here, can you draw them in, pull the navel into the spine and think about lifting your head, your chest, everything up a little bit higher. Just enjoy that nice, tall, seated posture for a minute. And then let's roll our shoulders back 3 times, just lightly waking them up. And then after 3 times going backwards, 3 forward. And then pause down, lift the head a little higher, take a big inhale. Nod your right ear to right shoulder, little stretch across your left side neck. Think about pressing the left shoulder down, lifting the left ear up, big inhale. And then bring it back center, same thing other side, drop the ear down, press your right shoulder down towards the ground, lift your right ear up, big breath, return center, and then hold on to the front of your legs if you're seated like I am, and I just want us to lightly wake up the spine a little bit, a small kind of seated cat and cow. Not worrying about exactly what our body looks like as we do this, but just enjoying the nice little motion. And then no hurry, no rush, return center. Sit up taller, sit up straighter, belly button up and in. Take a big inhale, reaching your hands up nice and high. Think of lifting higher out of the waist. Maybe your gaze goes up to the sky. Big, deep breath here. Exhale, hands behind the head, elbows open, nice and wide. Think about pressing the elbows behind you, just waking up across the front of the chest a little bit. Still draw the ribs in. Take a big inhale, exhale, little twist to the right. Inhale, return center, little twist to the left. Inhale, return center. Let that go. Hands to the front of your thighs or your shins again. And a little kind of seated cat and cow once more, just waking up the body. Big or small, fast or slow. Maybe you find a spot you want to pause and stretch a little longer. Sometimes I like to hang backwards and really press my sacrum back, almost like I was trying to round into a Pilates C curve, if you've done videos like that with me before. Then I come back upright. Sit up tall, sit up straight. Big inhale, hands lift up, spiral the pinkies towards one another. Lift out of the waist, keep the shoulders down the back, big breath. Big sigh out. One more inhale. Little twist to the right. This time, maybe take your hands wide. If it feels better to take them behind the head again, that's of course okay. But otherwise, I think about rolling my right shoulder back, looking towards my extended right hand. And then unravel, both hands lift. Twist to the other direction. Again, part from finger to finger. Think of pulling the tips of your shoulder blades together. Unravel both hands up. And then slowly drop it down. From here, go ahead and swim just the right hand up to the sky. Once more, spiral your pinky lightly inwards and then start to take a nice easy stretch over to the right. Did your left hip lift up? Can you think of sinking the left hip down, reaching longer through the left side of the body? Big deep breath. Easy sigh out. Press into the right hand to guide yourself all the way back up. Same thing other side. Drop one hand down, lift a little higher through the right and stretch over. Now I'm thinking about my right sitting bone sinking, dropping into the mat beneath me and kind of fanning open or parting my right ribs. Pull yourself all the way back up. And then from here, let's go ahead, rise to our hands and our knees. Nothing big, nothing crazy. And go ahead and lightly begin to cat and cow. Big or small, fast or slow. Maybe we stay in a very traditional cat and cow, or maybe you start to circle the head and the tail in one direction, or of course go ahead and reverse. And then pause center, pull the navel in, broaden across the chest. Take a moment here and really think of parting from shoulder to shoulder and growing long from the tip of your tail through your body out the top of your head. Take a big inhale, big breath out. Let's extend our right foot out behind us, lightly tucking the toe to the ground. Now, all I want you to do is lightly press back, sending the heel closer to the ground, getting a little stretch through the back of the leg. Maybe we hold right there, pressing the heel closer to the ground. Maybe we rock lightly back and forward. Totally up to you if you want to be still or continue to move a little bit. You might even find it feels nice to kind of pause with the heel back and then turn the leg in or out a little, just seeing what that does to your body, to your hip, to your ankle. Maybe it feels better to really keep it just straight forward and back so you can exclusively stay with that stretch to the back of your calf muscle. And then pull it in, same thing, other side. Press that heel out and then send it down. Nice big stretch there. Still think about navel to spine, low back so long so straight, no dumping forward, no Beyonce booty moments in this class at the moment. Press the heel back, 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 and then again we can rock forward and back at your own pace. Maybe being still in one spot, again maybe seeing what happens if we turn our heel in or out. What does that do to the body? And then eventually come back center, take a pause, pull both knees in. And then once more, let's lightly cat and cow. Big or small, fast or slow, totally your call. And then no hurry, no rush. Let's open our knees a little bit wider than our hips and push the hips down. Crawl your fingertips nice and far forward. Almost think of reaching them. They're like little spiders crawling away. Send the heels down. Send the hips towards the heels. Take a great big inhale through the nose. Easy sigh out the mouth. Again, nice big breath in. Easy sigh out. One more time. Let it go. And from here, let's just wake up the body a little bit more. Lifting high onto hands and knees. Exhale, push back to your child's pose. Rising high to hands and knees. Exhale, push it back. Once or twice more in your own time, in your own way. And then this time, let's rise to our hands and our knees, stay. And from here, all I want you to do is take your right knee and touch the front of your right wrist. Now, we can keep our toe kind of where it is, or you can kind of point it over towards your left side, and then we're gonna sink back into a little pigeon pose. Now, this does not have to be the deepest pigeon pose we've ever done. In fact, this is pretty shallow for me. I'm just gonna keep it nice and gentle, lightly waking up my hips. And for me, really when I first get into pigeon, I find it feels really nice just to sway my hips very gently side to side. Nothing big, nothing crazy. And then no hurry, no rush. Go ahead, find a spot that you can stay for a minute. Maybe we walk our hands a little bit closer, and again, think about lifting out of the waist. If you've got tiny dino worms like I do, you'll probably need to tent your fingertips, or if you have blocks, that's always a good one. But for me, I've got to lift my little fingers kind of up. And then go ahead and crawl forward, and if it feels nice, drop onto your forearms. You could even use your hands as a pillow and let your head come to the ground. Take a few gentle breaths in and out. And eventually we'll push ourselves up, and instead of kind of going back to our tabletop, I just like to lean over to my hip, kind of swing my leg behind me, and come on up, because it's not the biggest thing. We're not going for great big power moves today, just being nice and soft to our body. Now my left knee is touching my left wrist. I point my left toe towards my right side, and I sink back into my pigeon pose on this side. And you might immediately find some differences in your body. That is totally fine. One side can be quite different than the other. We have imbalances, that's okay. But again, if it feels nice to lightly stretch side to side, kind of wiggle, enjoy that nice little movement. Whether or not we want to stay right here for a while, or you want to crawl your hands back closer towards your hips, you can lift out of the waist, belly button in, shoulders down, head high. And maybe we want to let ourselves lay down a little bit more, making it as gentle or active as you like. And again, if we want to use our hands as a little pillow, go ahead. I like to press my palms on each other, let my elbows open out side to side, and just recline in a really simple, easy pigeon. No hurry, no rush. We can rise up when we're ready. And again, we're just going to lean over to our side. Now, once more, return to your child's pose, but this time keep knees together, push the hips back, and I want you to reach for your ankles, for your feet, and let your shoulders part behind your back, really round forward. Allow your head just to melt to the ground. Think about the neck softening. A few breaths in and out at your own pace. And then eventually roll yourself up to a seat. Let's take our feet out in front of us. And go ahead and have them about hip distance. If there's a soft bend in the knee, that's of course always okay. If you want them straight, that's great too. If we need to roll up our mat to sit a little higher or to slip a pillow or bolster underneath us, that's always okay. But see if once more we can reach our fingertips up nice and high, lifting out of the waist. Take a full big inhale. Exhale, flip the palms, press them down. Another big, deep inhale, swimming the hands high. Exhale, press it down. This time, both hands lift nice and high. And then go ahead and take a twist to the right. Right hand back, left hand forward. Inhale, both hands lift high. Exhale, twist other side. Inhale, both hands up. And then light hinge from the hips. Nothing big, nothing crazy. It is not about your head, your chest coming close to your feet or your knees. Instead, I want you to think about your sternum being pulled towards your shins, your head being pulled out and away from you, and your fingers going in that same direction. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, maybe deepen the hinge if you so choose. One more big breath, and now imagine there's a great big beach ball right in front of you. Drape over the beach ball and just relax to the back of the body. If your hands do not touch your feet, that is a-okay. You could rest them on your thighs. But let the neck be nice and heavy. Almost imagine it as a little weight for your spine. It's just lightly encouraging it to kind of lengthen and open up between each vertebra. Bring your hands to the tops of your thighs and roll yourself up lightly, pushing into your thighs. Again, big inhale, hands lift high, swivel or kind of spiral the pinkies towards one another, lift out of the waist, exhale again, little hinge. Same action here. I don't care how close your head comes to the ground. Instead, I want you to think about reaching out and away. It's like I'm standing in front of you and I'm holding your hands, pulling your wrist away from the body. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, maybe deepen the hinge if you so choose. Another big breath. Drape over the beach ball again. Just soft little curl through the back of the body. Head is heavy. Maybe even nod the head lightly side to side. Maybe shake it yes and no. And then hands to thighs, push yourself all the way up. Pull your right knee into your chest and then let the leg kind of fall off to the side. We're going to keep our left leg straight out in front of us and just slightly push your right foot into your right thigh, and it kind of falls off to the side. Both hands lift up nice and high. Spiral the pinkies towards one another, lift out, and then same thing, little hinge over our extended leg. Once more, it's like I am holding your wrist, I am pulling your wrist out and away. Take a big breath. Exhale, drape over the beach ball right here. Now, if you can hold on to your foot or a portion of your leg, that's wonderful. If you can't, that's okay too. Sometimes from here, I do like to take it just a little bit deeper by holding my foot or ankle. And then after I've done my little round here, I go back into a nice flat back, lightly lifting up my head and chest. Because I've found a new relationship between my leg and my sternum, I'm a little bit deeper in that nice long flat back. Now I might have a little bit of roundness through my back because I'm human and I'm not perfect, but I'm going for a nice long straight spine. Take one more breath. Exhale again, forward fold, round through the body. Let go of the hand or leg. Push yourself slowly up to a seat. Bring that leg in, send it out. And take the other guy back into the same space to the other side. Once more, you can also think of this as like a seated tree pose to some extent, but I'm pressing my foot into my thigh. I'm just letting my other leg move off to the side. And then once more, I lift up, reaching, stretching my fingertips up, little hinge. Now, sometimes I do have a habit of kind of talking at you and I look up here, but truthfully, my chin should be pointed ever so slightly down or further down than it was before. And I'm still in that long line from hips to shoulders to head out my fingertips. Big breath. Exhale, drape over the beach ball, lightly rounding. Head is heavy. The more I think about flexing my foot of that extended leg, the deeper of a stretch I feel through the back of the leg. And like I said on the other side, if you want to hold on to your foot, your leg somewhere, or just your hands on your side is totally fine. But it can feel good to me to kind of lightly lift up and return to that nice flat back. Again, I should bring my chin ever so slightly down so my neck stays in line with the rest of my body. But we're not perfect, myself included. Sometimes I forget the things that I need to or that I tell you to do. So, happens all the time. Take a big inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Release the hands from wherever they are. Push yourself up to a seat. Let's go ahead and lie down on our back and walk your feet in. Actively press your heels into the floor and actively press the small of the back down into the ground while you reach and lengthen your fingertips up overhead. Take a big, deep stretch, reaching from your hips through your body out the fingertips. Exhale, let it go. Just let your body relax wherever feels best. Maybe you kind of make your elbows in a little diamond shape like mine are. Maybe you want to take them off to a T or even give yourself a hug. That's perfectly fine. Go ahead and walk your feet a little bit further apart and allow your knees to knock in towards one another. Depending on the rotation of your hips, your knees might naturally touch or not. I don't have a lot of internal rotation, so mine do not, unless I force it to. So for me, just letting them fall towards one another feels pretty nice, and I really like to press the small of my back down into the mat. It can be a nice place to kind of take a few pelvic tips, just being gentle to that lumbar spine. Finding whatever sort of movement feels good for you. And then again, pausing and now just letting your knees truly windshield wiper side to side. Eyes can be opened or closed because it's really not about exactly what our body looks like. Instead, just enjoy that gentle twist in your low back. walk your feet back in towards your hips. Again, press the small of the back down into the mat and allow your legs to lightly lift up to the sky. If that is too much for us, of course, we do not have to do that, and you could just keep your feet in place. But a cooling waterfall of your legs lifted can feel really nice. Maybe you even want to hold onto the legs or just take your hands off to the side. Still, for me, it feels nice to have them reaching over my head because my chest is a little bit tired and sore today. Go ahead and circle the ankles around both directions. Maybe your feet and toes are popping a lot. Mine are. I hope you cannot hear that through the mic. And maybe pedal through the feet a little here. And I don't think I am totally straightening my legs all the way because it's really not about activating the legs. Instead, it's just enjoying getting those feet up away from the ground, letting the blood kind of fall from the feet. And then from here, if we want to take a happy baby, now not everyone has that in their range of motion, that's fine. You can hold on to the backs of your thighs and just lightly open the legs. If you have the range of motion to reach for the outside edge of the toes, that's great. Now I will say what's most important to me in happy baby is really how it feels, but for us to get a deeper stretch, most likely you're going to want to keep your hips, your sitting bones touching the ground. So if you can only reach your feet by lifting up your booty like I am right now, then you'll probably want to drop the hips down, feel your back connect, and just hug underneath your little knee pits instead, so you can really focus on lengthening the lumbar spine or low back and lightly pulling the knees either towards one another or out to the side. But if you can accomplish that by holding on to the outside edge of the feet, that's great too. Now, happy baby is one of those that really for me is about just finding your happy place. I hope it makes you smile when you get into happy baby. It certainly does for me. Nothing makes me happier than if I'm taking someone's yoga class and they tell me to go to happy baby. I almost always do it before I get in Savasana in my own personal practice. But whether or not you want to stay here for a bit or maybe bring your feet together, knees apart, hugging your legs closer to your chest, go ahead. Maybe a little sway side to side. Eventually, though, do begin to find your Shavasana, your final resting pose for today's class. Where might that be for you? Is that more of a traditional Shavasana with your hands and feet extended? Do you want one hand on your heart, one on your stomach? Maybe you want to let your shoulders relax a little bit more. Lying here, just take a moment and notice. Are you trying to control any muscles in your body? If so, is it because you feel like you need to keep yourself in a particular shape? Is it because you're trying to hold a posture? Instead, I want to invite you to find a place that you can really let go in, that you can consider yourself being held by the ground beneath you. So no muscles are really working. Instead, you're just giving yourself permission to lay down wherever feels best. And take a moment and notice, is there any tension between your eyebrows? Can you soften your eyebrows? Allow your eyelids to be heavy. Feel your jaw grow heavier. Throat, chest, shoulders, all soft. Let both palms be heavy wherever they are. All of your fingers and both thumbs relaxed. Soften your belly. Let your hips be heavy on the mat. Relax the muscles in your thighs, around your knee, down your calf muscles, to the ankles, the feet, the soles of the feet, and all 10 toes. No matter what time of day it is for you, take the last few moments here to thank your body for everything it's done for you today. Acknowledging just how strong you are, how resilient you are, and how grateful you are for everything your body does for you. Can you keep this feeling of gratitude, of pride in your body for the rest of your day? And before you really go to bed tonight, can you bring back this feeling of pride, of appreciation, and let it lull you to sleep? Stay here as long as you'd like to. But as you feel ready to move on, begin to awaken the body however feels best. Little wiggles of the toes, of the fingers, a reach of the hand overhead. Blink the eyes open the minute you feel ready. Roll to one side and push yourself up to a seat. Wherever you are, pat on the back. Thank yourself for being so good to yourself and doing something so good for you. I hope you enjoyed our very relaxing wind down class, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and have a very peaceful sleep.